it's few and far between.
Yeah, good luck.
So that's why.
Yeah.
But anyways, welcome
Hey.
everybody. We're on 26.
Yeah, this is 26.
If we aired in, we don't know.
Yeah.
At some point, we've been talking about making bank shows. We're talking about on the shows making bank shows for a long time, and at some point,
Will is busy.
we will do that. But so that's why I fear, saying the episode number. Like we always, throw the episode number.
I think it holds me accountable.
And of course, and of course, you could always
Puts the thumb in.
You could always edit in. Okay, this is, we could just make a bank show. You'd be like, okay,
work.
this is, just literally creep into, okay, this is episode whatever because we had a bank show, and that. So maybe someday, but that's why, like I said, I always, I'm like, is it going to be that episode? I don't know. Anyways.
This is actually 26.
This is 26.
We just recorded 25.
Rolling with reason. That's
Back to
why,
back.
and that's the other reason.
Back to back.
That's the other reason
That's
why I
a
was
great
like,
song,
it could be a bank show because we're in the same clothes.
Yeah.
Rather than banging them up back to back. But
Yeah, I'm wearing like a Ohio State shirt, football thing.
Yeah.
Did you watch the game?
I did. Yes.
Would you?
I know you're not the biggest.
Yeah, I'm not the big. I didn't watch it.
Into
They
football.
lost, and I heard a lot of people, moan and complain, and
Yeah, you're gonna have that. The fan base.
they're like zombies. Like
I
we've
am an
talked about this before.
Ohio State fan.
I love Ohio.
I'm an Ohio State fan. They lost.
Yeah.
Like that's all there is, to that game. Like, I could pick it apart, and I was definitely like, oh, okay. Like, there was a pick six.
Yeah.
Like the D line, like they jumped way early, and they never called it. He was offsides, and I could pick that apart, but I'm like, they lost.
Yeah.
So I take it as, Dana White has a, quote, never leaves it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah.
Well, like, never leave it up to the refs.
Was he talking about gambling?
Probably.
But yeah.
But I mean that's the idea of it is that if you stomp a team so bad that the refs don't matter, like that's what you want.
I like that. I like that philosophy from jiu-jitsu.
Never, and the same thing. I believe.
If I submit the guy, I'm not worried about points.
It doesn't matter about points. So that's why I completely agree with never leave it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah.
And that type of thing.
There's a lot of different judges out there.
There is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I used to watch the old UFCs. I kind of in the middle now, not like the first tournaments type stuff. So I was all, but when they really started getting judges and they were doing rounds and that, like at first, because they were running the boxing commission, those judges had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
Technically, and that they're used to boxing, used to different stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they would watch a fight that everybody else
was like, oh, that guy clearly won.
That guy clearly won, and give it to the other guy.
Like, what?
And everybody's like, what? And that's why Dana came up. He's like, never leave it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah.
So finish them. Get a knockout, get a submission, that type of stuff. So that's why I'm always like, what if you leave it up to points? Maybe you win, maybe you won't.
Yeah.
But if you get a sub, that's it. So, but I'm the same way with football, and that you should beat the other team decisively enough that a blown call or that not being,
shouldn't be the
shouldn't be a deciding factor.
Yeah.
So that's why, even though it was close games, good game, and I have the hardest time, even my family included, like they're like, oh, we beat everybody, like all this stuff, and I'm like, they're literally in the playoffs. You're playing the best teams in the country.
I've heard, guys at
why do you think it should be a blowout every single game? Like, it's insane.
Guys at work too, they talk about this. I've worked with a lot of guys that travel, so they're from different places, right? So they're rooting naturally for their like home teams, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny to hear them complain about Ohio State always getting to the playoffs because we have such an easy schedule. I'm not really sure what that means because I don't watch enough to justify that, but I gotta say it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's that argument with other teams too. As far as
but then, like, of course, right? So, like, we're in Ohio, so there's naturally a larger selection of Ohio State fans at work. And so then they're doing the thing, and they're like, what'd you expect? They're all like pushing and rubbing it in, It's funny.
Yeah.
There was a huge upset, though, that I did see recently was the Oregon and Indiana upset. That's kind of crazy. Oregon's usually a very good team. Indiana, usually not a very good team.
Indiana, unless they've come along.
And they just beat Alabama the weekend before, right? I believe.
Yeah, I kind
somewhere in
of
there?
died off after the Ohio
Again,
St-
I don't want like
Ohio
yeah.
State. No, Ohio State lost, and then people were talking about the day. I'm like,
Yeah.
I felt, well, no, you talk
I'm
about
done.
how busy we are with
This is
whatever.
true.
Like, I might pay attention to the national championship one, but I just don't.
It's valid. I think that's
You
so
know, I
valid.
don't. I'm like, we'll see who is in the end or whatever, but I don't.
Can we talk about the context of busy for a second?
Yeah.
I ran 9.5 miles the other day. It took me an hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah.
After I worked a 10-hour shift with a 2-hour drive time. That puts me at what? 12 hours, 13 and a half hours. That means I had roughly about 2.5 hours of my life left to sleep or do whatever else. Not sleep, get ready to sleep.
Get ready.
We're busy.
We're
We're busy.
we're busy.
We're busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that though. 9.5
No,
miles.
that's awesome.
I literally ran all the way across town. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I-
You're working on a half marathon.
I just wanted to run.
I'm just saying, you're getting.
Yeah, I
you,
guess.
you're gaining.
I was
on it.
pretty happy with the time too.
You
10
absolutely
minutes.
should.
Yeah, it's pretty good. For
Absolutely.
somebody who doesn't,
Yeah, you're not.
know,
You know,
I'm not an
I know you
endurance
go
runner.
on some runs, but not like
Yeah.
like
That
I'm going to
long.
go run 9 miles. Like
Yeah.
you do that. So,
Yeah, I was pretty
no,
happy.
that's all. I would be ecstatic with that because it ain't happening for me.
Thanks,
You know, like, you are clearly. Well, I mean, just in general, now you're just a better athlete. You know, I've been struggling because like one of the things over the break,
Mm-hmm.
and this is. We've all been sick in my house. It's literally been somebody's.
That's part of the reason why we didn't get together on the holidays. I
Right.
should also throw that out there for episode 25. So
Yeah.
if you didn't make it to 26 to hear part of the reason why we didn't do the episode for the holidays, plus rolling through the new year.
Right.
So if you didn't hear about the information for episode 25 and 26 because you didn't listen to 26, I don't feel bad because you didn't hear it. Anyways, go ahead, John.
Anyway, but I'm just saying, but like we've been sick. So like I was sick for like a week, and I was getting over it. And we got into more stuff and that, but I still have like a cough in my lungs. Now my cardio is terrible, anyways. Like I'm just gonna throw that out there. So then
I don't think it's
I'm trying.
terrible. I think it's a bit of a,
but
it's a bit of a stretch. But
I don't, because my stretching's terrible too. But my flexibility's bad. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, my cardio is not good,
I have
and then
something to say about that, but keep going.
and then-
Don't let me forget.
and then I'm going and trying to work out again because I get back into it, and like I'm like I can't breathe. Like I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to arc reactor. I'm
Yep,
there.
yep. Shout out.
With Kendall.
Yep.
And like I'm trying to do stuff, and I'm like I can't breathe. Like I'm dying. Like literally, Kendall asked me after once, like, "You all right?" I'm like, I normally don't have great cardio, and then I just have whatever in my lungs, and I'm okay. Like right now, and it was worse before. But like if I lay down, all of a sudden I just cough some. Now there was like before I was coughing, continuously. Like I couldn't even sleep.
Yeah.
But so I got still something in my lungs, and like I said, I'm dying. Trying to get through it. So.
That sucks, and I hope that gets better.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds
it
like
is.
it's getting
It
better.
is continually getting better, but it just, like I said, already starting at not great, and then having that on top of it,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
But you'll, I mean,
Okay.
hopefully,
It'll-
it slowly go away.
it'll buff out.
Yeah, and then you'll like be doing the workouts, and you'll be just killing it because you're like, my lungs are expanding, and
Yeah.
I don't have to cough.
Yeah.
The flexibility thing. I have to touch on this real quick. I was
Yeah.
watching a breakdown of Craig Jones the other day. Of
Oh.
course, the notorious guy that a lot of people love or hate, depends on who you are, because he's super controversial, but it's fine. Nobody takes him serious.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, who really takes him serious enough to hate him?
Yeah, well, he,
I know.
Self-inflicted.
I know the internet.
He branded himself, you know?
Like I get that.
yeah, it's ironic.
But I'm
It's
just,
ironic,
I'm
yeah.
just saying. I was like, who really is like, I'm going to put in enough energy to hate Craig Jones? He's just a goofball.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
and that, but I guess there's haters.
We'll talk about
Hate.
Well, man, we're gonna come back to yeah. Haters and hate. We'll come back. But anyways, I'm watching a video of a guy break down Craig Jones. Right.
Okay.
I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know a channel. Like I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, they just popped up.
And I was like, this is interesting. Like I've never seen anybody kind of break down Craig's game like this. Like I've seen him in his instructions and stuff, so I understand that. But I didn't understand, or I was just curious. My curiosity was intrigued. The algorithm thing. The algorithm got me to click it. All
Yeah,
right? Jeez.
That's how they do it.
Yes. Anyways,
They're in your head.
So I clicked it, and the guy started selling me midway through the video. He was promoting himself, flexibility.
Okay.
And I just thought it was one of the most bizarre things because flexibility is important. And I have thought to myself, I need to be more flexible. So I stretch for that reason.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm the unwise guy here, but it just felt weird that I'm watching a jiu-jitsu video and then I have a guy trying to sell me flexibility. Like that is the final sole determining factor as to why my game sucks is because I don't have flexibility. And I was upset. I quit watching the video. I'm like, you really just tried to brand and sell me flexibility through your channel by like showing off Craig Jones. I was irate. I don't know why. I don't normally get like that. I just felt like that guy was trying to like
I mean, I don't
take
know.
advantage of like, I don't know, jiu-jitsu or
People
something.
don't
I'm like,
understand.
yeah, I'm like, what? Like, bro, like, you're going to know your body's limitations. You're going to find the skill set and the moves that work for you. You're not going to go, I need to take a flexibility course. And I think if you do, like, listen, I get it if you do. I just think it was the way the guy was trying to pitch me the flexibility course.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like that's we talk about like compound movements and lifting, and then you have all these subcategory muscle groups that you work out through these compound movements that we don't talk about a lot. I feel like that's where flexibility is for me with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like by stretching and warming up and being adamant about making sure that your muscles are warmed up and stuff, you will naturally promote flexibility. Like I feel like I shouldn't have to take a flexibility course. Now, sure, somebody out there's going, okay, listen here. This is why you actually need to take a flexibility course. Okay, I might listen to you if you portray it in the right way. But if I'm watching a video of you break down Craig Jones and saying, the reason Craig Jones is so good is because it's phenomenal flexibility, and that's why my game sucks. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I mean, I don't know. It was weird.
I would say, like, by the sounds of it, yeah, like the guy is terrible at selling. Like that's not how you do it.
Yeah, that's definitely not how you do it.
I've seen stuff like I mean people do yoga for flexibility, like and I do think like it can go hand in hand with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
and it is a skill.
It is.
As far it's an asset. It's an asset that you can have. Same thing as strength's an asset you can have. I get irritated with, people get mad at strength in jiu-jitsu. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you only do that because you're strong. Like I'm going to do that. I'm like, well, that's an asset that I have.
Yeah.
But
why wouldn't you use it?
Like,
well, I mean, in the context, yes.
But like, I
understand what you're saying.
Right. But if somebody is flexible and their guard retention is great because that helps with that.
Right.
I don't see people getting mad. Well, you just got that because you're flexible. Like nobody, that it's an asset that they have that great for them, good for them.
Yeah.
And the same thing with strength. Now you can absolutely overuse strength, and we inherently, naturally, especially when we first start, do it. So I think there's a little bit of that negative connotation, for it. But it's not like it's not an asset that you can't have and use, and it's perfectly fine to use.
Yeah.
If you use it the right way, not burn yourself out or
right.
like injure somebody, to that degree.
Yeah.
But also too, I mean, in theory, somebody could use their flexibility to too much, well, I mean, even too much, not even just like it could hinder their jiu-jitsu by just, I'm so flexible, I can do this rather than
just doing
not relying on that flexibility.
Yeah. Or
that type of thing.
Or even like the conceptual like overhead of trying to learn something new when you're jiu-jitsu and general technique, like knowing all these different moves or whatever, like just sucks. And now you're going to allocate this time to try and like learn the flexibility, even though you still don't kind of know what you're doing. Like it just kind of, it's a weird thing. Like, but maybe it's like a later stage.
I can see where flexibility classes really would help somebody because I don't stretch enough my flexibility. I just said my flexibility is terrible, and if I had a system to get into, and that like if I had more time, I would love to go to yoga classes. Right. I do like yoga. It pushes me. But I'm not good at it.
I don't think, John, you are sitting here saying, man, if I become flexible though, world champ.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like,
right. No,
yeah,
that's
like
that's idiotic.
Like, your body type has like its own like limitations.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sell to anybody who watches this YouTube video that I've created about Craig Jones.
Right. It'll turn
Take
you.
my flexibility course, and it will
Turn you
change
into the next
your
Craig.
jiu-jitsu life. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's not gonna make him Craig Jones. I would say, I would say, like, if I was flexible, it would help.
Yeah.
And then I would
Yeah,
get better,
for sure.
like
Not
guard
denying
retention and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
mean, in theory, if I'm not a terrible salesman, like like that, like it would change my jiu-jitsu life because I could be better at guard retention.
Yeah.
But like I said, now it sounds like he's aggressively trying to market, and I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it was gross. Anyways,
trying to get those meatheads that just
here's an interesting thought. I think we should talk about for a moment, or however long we decide to, because it's our podcast. Listen, what about? I wonder if we could psychologically analyze people through their jiu-jitsu. That'd be kind of cool, huh? Because what does it mean if we have people in our gym that say, well, you only did that because you used your strength, versus somebody who says, well, that guy's strong and he was able to perform that move, so what could I do different to just beat that guy? But then they don't say that. They just do it.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a cool profession, to be a jiu-jitsu analysis, psychological, analytical.
Yeah. Oh,
Mat side. Listen, there's not a market for this. You have like somebody sitting on the sidelines that's like a therapist essentially, but just for the jiu-jitsu gym. It's not for one person in particular.
Yeah.
It's just to try to psychologically and analyze people for who they are just by watching them do jiu-jitsu and their interactions.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah. No, when you said that, when you originally said that, like, I thought literally the style of jiu-jitsu. Like,
yeah, that's in part.
Like what?
That's in part. But then I started, and then I was like,
I know what you're saying, and I know what you're saying because that would add in.
Yeah.
So, that type of thing. But
Let's do separate things. For sure.
Right, but no, that, like I said, that would add in,
They kinda,
and what you're saying, that type of stuff. Like, you could build a psychological profile of people and the way they interact, and then, how many gay jokes they make about whatever.
All right, Craig.
Like that. I'm just saying, like, you could build that, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I literally thought it was, like I said, like, oh, this guy likes Barambolos, so that means he's a Pisces or something like not even astrological.
This is the guy that wears the pink Ratsguard shirt, just so everybody knows. But I look fly as hell in that.
But I mean, no, it looks great. Looks great.
I will Barambolo all the time with my flexibility. What's up, Craig? Thailand lady boys.
Hey,
Anyways.
But like I said, I mean, I went astrological, but I mean, even just like an actual, like, oh, they're a type A1 personality or whatever, that, like that type of
category system.
But yeah, right. I don't know all of them. I don't pay attention to
Barambolo,
that.
pink Ratsguard, gay.
Right. Right.
He's a gay A1.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't have a rash guard. But when we did our our clothes roll the year before, I had a pink suit or button up, and then I had a suit on, pink shirt.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that was a little gimmicky. I wear it because I like pink.
I know. Right. I'm not saying what. I'm just saying it was like I don't have a rash guard for it, and that was one night. But it's not like I won't not wear pink. That was my point.
Did you guys watch Stranger Things?
I have watched.
Okay.
A couple. A couple.
Finish it up, and we'll come back to this.
Yeah, no,
we should just stop right there.
We'll do that. But I'm just saying, like I'm a couple seasons in, and I don't know what. Like, I fell off of it, and I was literally waiting for now, where they're finishing it.
Yeah.
And so I am going to get back to it.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about, because I wanted to get through a couple of those movies that you threw out like forever ago, because I don't get, but like that keeps popping up. Everybody keeps talking about it because it's the ending.
Yeah.
Going on
and
right
there's
now.
a whole, right.
And I'm like, well, not
some
even,
people are outraged, some people are happy.
Right. And that's why,
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I need to get back into it. But then I'm like, well, here's my terrible dynamic of my, okay, I need to get back into Stranger Things, but I need to watch these movies, but I don't have enough time to watch a movie just drop down and watch a movie, so I don't end up watching a movie, so I end up not watching anything. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy right now, so so let me turn that.
So everything's great.
So let me
it's
turn
working
that
out perfect.
No, that game is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about that
If
game.
you like any of the Harry Potter stuff, you know, I mean,
I
it's
saw snippets because Christmas, and of course they play like a lot of Harry Potter movies during Christmas.
Right.
Not really sure why that is, but awesome movies. I need to read the books.
they even.
I didn't watch the full-on movie. Sorry, let me back up. Still very busy, people. I just like would walk through like where our TV and stuff is, and like I saw that it was on. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I sit there maybe like 2 minutes. That's probably how long I could tolerate me not doing whatever it was that I needed to be doing. And then I was like, I thought of a childhood memory that I don't normally remember, and I thought that's very nice. That's cool that this movie can do that for me. And then I went back to what I was doing, and it is what it is.
I mean, they always have like a winter Christmas thing, like in each movie. So
Yeah, I think that's what they were going
That's
for.
probably why they're playing them a little more.
I'm sure.
But like
Or they're just naturally depressing, right? To some degree. I have like a dark humor, not humor, sorry, sheesh. Not a humor, like a feeling.
Thread.
Yeah, that's over like the course of all the movies. Like still have their good high moments, but like from start to finish, it's like this kid, it's just,
I mean,
his mom's sister has him, and she's like, they didn't tell him he was a wizard, and like all this stuff, and he wants to go to
there's
school, and they got the Dementors, and
there's definitely negative things in there, but. No,
be
I
expected
mean
in
that's what
every
makes it good
movie,
because they're right. I mean, but there is the highs and the lows in there. But I mean overall, there's a kind of foreboding thread throughout the whole thing. You have this guy that's going to come back to life and kill everybody.
Yeah.
So we got to stop him.
Yeah.
So not spoiling anything there, but So,
listen, if you guys just heard that and that spoiled it for you, I don't feel bad.
right on that one.
You
That's why I
should've-
said
yeah,
that
it's
day.
been out
But
plenty
the
long
cool thing is with Legacy, it's before all that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, he's in the future. Like
Yeah.
Dumbledore hasn't even went to wizard school.
Yeah.
Like this is how long ago it is.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with old timey stuff. So
Yeah.
that we got new.
Got new stuff.
We got
new toys to play with,
We got
bro.
we got new stories. We got new all kinds of stuff. But the cool thing is, it's still set in that realm. It's still set in that magical stuff.
Yeah.
So even just going around Hogwarts and just exploring.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. And that's what I waited until I got a PlayStation 5 because I wanted to see it look, good. Like we have a Switch, like it's on Switch. Like could have done that.
Not the same.
But I don't want. I wanted it to
want
look
the full
I
feel.
wanted it to look good, so that way I could go explore Hogwarts and do all this stuff. And it's added so much.
Heck yes.
Stuff. Right. So no, I'm really into it. Like and then the cool thing I got my woman Nicole. She is not a gamer at all. And this is one, and I got
She's
her into
for
it. She's in it.
She's for it.
She is in it.
That's what's up.
And that's what,
that.
and she literally told her best friend, she's like, Legacy's ruined my life. Because that's all I want to go, that's all I want to go do, and play.
And you're like, yes, my character went up 7 levels.
Right. And I mean, and the thing is,
I
and
got
this-
a real human bot at my house. I'm joking. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm sure you guys have separate accounts.
Yeah, no, she has.
different
No,
profiles.
she has.
Yes.
Yes, no,
So
she.
just to
I could not
clarify
play on her
here.
thing. That,
Yes.
but
And
she.
she works. So she's
Right.
like, I'm just-
Right.
It was. Just, anyways, keep going.
I have no delusions that she's going to become a gamer, like off
Yeah,
of this. Like she's not.
And that's okay.
But right, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I told her, I'm like, the thing is, she's into Harry, she's super into Harry Potter. She loves read the books.
Yeah.
Is irritated with the movies beyond belief, but she'll still watch the movies just so she can.
I've heard the books are amazing.
Complain about them, whatever. I haven't read them either. And of course, they're coming out with a show. That's going to be because everybody complained like, oh, they took all this out, took all this out because that.
Yeah.
So now they're going to have a show.
Yeah, that has 12 hours of content.
Right,
It
it's going to
drags
have
it all out.
this. Right,
Yeah.
So now they can throw everything in there.
Yeah.
But she's like, I was like, the bad thing was like, I know you're into Harry Potter. I understand you get the content, and this is what sucking you in and that type of thing. But I was like, there is a video game out there that is independent IP that would be your jam.
Yeah.
That you'll never know because you don't play, you know, and that she's super into books, she's super into that. And she's like, yeah, and I was like, I'm not even saying it's worth, okay, you need to become a gamer to go search on the hunt for, you know, for this game. I'm not even saying it's worth it. I'm just saying that's a sad thing. And it's even that, it's even anything. And it's one of the things like music, like the FOMO, the fear of missing out. Like there's a song out there I know that is my song.
That's a paradoxical thing.
That I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad.
Yeah.
That, you know, and it's some band out on the West Coast that, you know, I've never heard of, you know, and that, and it's, you know, and it's on the, you know, I'm holding up the B side of the record, you know, like it's, you know, but there's something that, you know, I would absolutely love that I'll never hear.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know, it's kind of sad and melancholy, but, you know, same thing with the game. Like there's something out there that would be her, you know, be her thing, but she doesn't play. So
yeah, that's cool though that she picked it up.
Yeah,
she's trying it.
Yeah,
she's doing it.
Yeah,
she's loving it.
Expand, do new things, and it's, you know,
that's cool.
But you know, and I told her, I was like, yeah, of course she grew up and she's a little younger than me, but like she likes Spyro, like she would play, you know, Spyro and that type of thing. And I'll tell older people that didn't get into gaming, I'm like, you don't understand the storytelling that gaming can do is insane. Oh, yeah. And I've argued with people, and I do love reading books, and I do love movies and TV, and there are fantastic stories, you know, as far as that goes. But I was like, there are stories in video games, like Mass Effect, especially the first one is now 3, killed my soul with how bad it was. But like 1 and 2, you know, I will put up that storytelling, that world building with any other media.
Yeah.
Books, TV, or movie.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one slightly. Okay. I think there's a distinct difference between video games and then books. So I think you could say the same thing about movies, but I would think we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. But between books and video games, there's the kinetic feeling of activating your nervous system as being the character. You're like in the game, like in that way, and you can see it. So there's the visual kinetic feel, and then you have the driving factor of the actual like story of the game, right? Yeah. It's amazing. It's its own thing. You could say it's its own unique experience. However, I will say one beautiful thing about the difference between that and books, and this is bizarre because this is something I'm starting to traverse myself right now, that I didn't realize. I'm kind of unlocking this kind of little secret cubby in my brain. There's an aspect of unlimited potential in books that can't be achieved in video games and or in the movies. And so if we look at the difference between the video game and the movies, the video game, like literally we can create almost anything within the video game with the limitations of the tools that we have to create the stuff. And then when you look at movies, it's severely more hindered in comparison. Now you still have animations and stuff, right? But you're not getting the kinetic thing anymore. So there's still like a hindered thing there, right? Because now you're not just, like it's little things that we don't think about, like picking up an item or the sounds of bottle caps in a game, for example. If you don't get that reference, you suck. So there's that thing going on. But with the books, right, when somebody's writing, they can literally write anything into existence into that story. And I think that is something that is like unhindered. And it's one person's sole imagination and creativity, like that they can jot down. Now, granted, they probably go through a bunch of rough drafts, a bunch of people read this stuff. Maybe some of them don't. Maybe there's really good writers like that. I don't know. Probably few and far between. I'm sure there's a whole business structure there that sucks because most of them do. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird thing. I like what you're saying. I think it's true. They're kind of their own different kinds of things. But books, like entertainment books, literally, I feel like have an unlimited kind of potential in a way that can't be like caught in video games or movies. No, just because of making them. I get like making the games or the movies.
Like I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, as far as that, I mean,
and maybe it's a niche argument, but
really, I mean, it's an imagination thing. I mean, the book is creating. You know, your mind is creating. You know, that, and they're using this, you know, story to create there, and they're using detail, and you can do it
for sure.
You know, that type of stuff. So yeah, you can do whatever you want because your elimination, your imagination can create infinite type of thing is that they're painting a tapestry.
Interesting.
So when you see it on TV or when you see it on a video game, whatever, like you said, it has to be rendered. It has to be brought into some type of visual, context.
Yeah, but
So
even if it's something different, right? Like if it's not the same story, you were saying that, and it's kind of funny because I just kind of like went right over top of it. But the construct of consciousness and words and language, that would be your limiting factor.
yeah,
Is the words.
yeah.
Like that quite literally is a limiting factor. Now, granted, I mean, how big of a real limiting factor is that?
Right.
Seeing as how we use like a general subset of words in
Well,
most cases, right?
we went into infinite the last time,
We
so
did,
we're not going to
so,
go on that.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not infinite, like you said. It's words and it's conveying context and meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So also too, as far as that goes, when you are, and not that you can't do this somewhat to movies too, but when you're creating a book, since we are kind of creating that world, in our own head,
Yeah.
what you see isn't what I see, what I imagine, what you imagine,
Yeah.
there are differences,
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Now, we can both watch the same movie and then perceive things differently too. And there's nothing,
for sure.
there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I'm not bagging on, either. I'm just saying, I was just meaning, it is, as far as storytelling, that's what I was saying in the video game type thing. Now, experience-wise, you're right. It's not a passive experience.
Right.
You are connected to it.
You're engaged.
And that's even more why I'm like, okay, it's a different experience and it adds even more. So it's its own thing. But I'm saying even storytelling wise, as far as Mass Effect goes, and building in immersive and expansiveness of that.
Except for 3, because it ripped your
Except
soul out.
for 3.
I agree with you. I agree with you
Stole,
at this point. Yeah.
They just blatantly just stole stuff from Star Trek and Star Wars and all these other tropes, and then threw it in there because they fired a bunch of writers, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I was just irritated throughout that whole thing.
There comes the creativity of the writers. I had to
You
throw
know,
it.
right, that's the point though.
yeah.
But they had that in the other one. They so it but. But the cool thing with that, and then even more, is that you got to explore in Mass Effect. You got to go into different places. That book is linear. You can't take it that way. So you literally explored. You went around to different solar systems. You ran into different things. You had all these other things, and you might not get that. And that there was a whole bunch of that got Cerberus, things in the first ones that people just missed. Because they didn't explore enough, versus a book is linear, and you're heading down whatever story that they have. You can't do caveats into these other things. You can't play these other things different ways.
You can't play them. You can't replay a book. No.
When I replay, I'm just saying the first time. Your experience,
the
your
writer-
experience in your story is going to be one because you're literally following that timeline, whatever they wrote on the thing, versus
Right. They
because.
can't replay the book. I think you're saying like you
Well, I
can't.
mean, even your playthrough. I'm saying even the original playthrough. I don't have to go back twice. I don't have to replay it. I'm saying I missed this stuff because I didn't go here. I missed this thing, and that I did this a different way. Now that's experience based, but I'm saying the story itself changed because of the experiences that I had. They had more to add to it that I didn't get to, or differently than what I did because I played it, because I'm, like I said, I know that's experience based, but I'm saying it literally changes that storytelling itself inherently because of that you can't get in books. So
I'm still gonna say you can't replay the book. Like I understand what you're saying. I'm saying like anytime that you have like a scenario that alters the total outcome, right, in video games like you're talking about, and it produces a different storyline. Yeah, totally get that. You're saying like, oh, I forgot to pick up this item, or I could have went here, and then I go and do it, now it changes the storyline. Or let's say you go through a whole separate playthrough and you just play it different, and it changes the storyline. I understand that. But when the writer creates it, the writer has no limitations to the kind of imagination they build into the book. And they could have built in similar experiences where they go to different points or different places, or like, oh, I forgot to pick up this item. And then like maybe at the end they put in like cliff notes, like this is how it would have changed if you wouldn't have picked up that item. They have no limitations in that regard. Now, to be fair though too, Even in the video games, I think there's an overhang of like how much we can remember. I talk about this so often on the podcast, it's not even funny. So like they could make a book this big, bro.
Yeah.
They could. Now, are they gonna do that? Probably not. Probably realistically not. I mean, and so the same thing with video games. I think the lengths and the depths that we go to for such a thing is very interesting, but I will say that is a very finite and very crucial point of the storytelling of video games. I think it's a very valid opinion. But they could also make books this big. So
they could, but what I'm saying is if you made a book that big, I still have to run across whatever if I read it. If I play through in this book, I still have to come across all of that to get through it.
Yeah.
In that video game, and the reason why I'm bringing up Cerberus and that is that if you didn't explore enough, you didn't realize how messed up stuff they were doing experimental-wise, different stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when 2 came out and added to the story, Cerberus didn't seem that bad.
Just so you know, I feel like what we're doing right now is teaching each other how to build a storyline for a video game. But keep going. And you'll see why I say that after you're done saying this. Because I totally get what you're saying.
Right, you're right. I'm just saying, and that is that I could have went through that. I could have went through Mass Effect. I could have, and done that and not explored, not seen how terrible this organization was.
Yes.
And then the dangers of that come through later. So that person had a different story than what I did. Not because it's not even just the experience type thing.
Right.
That their movement, they're doing
because
it.
the game is so vast and the decisions that they made versus yours.
But that was my point of them storytelling and building was so vast. It's not just the stacked linear of the book. It's that their experience, their outcome became different and what they took away from it.
Okay, so let me propose this question to you, right?
Okay.
These books probably aren't out there, but they're not impossible, and this is the imagination portion that I'm alluding to with what I'm saying.
Okay.
But do you think there's any books out there that is like a compilation of every rough draft of every possibility of a storyline that somebody wanted to tell? Like, I almost bet there's a storytelling boardroom, whatever you want to call it, where they throw all of these ideas at the board and they're like, oh, if the player does this, then this happens, right?
Yeah.
Or if they do this, this happens, right?
Yeah.
I bet there's a book out there somewhere. If there isn't, you know what? I just suck at life, and that's all right. But it's probably literally a composition of all of the alterations of the possibilities of the storyline from start to finish. Now, it would almost be infinite, right? But in the same way that Mass Effect 3 almost feels infinite, because somebody could have a drastically different experience from this perspective versus this perspective. So imagine you have this book, has all these rough drafts, every single possible different way to be able to experience this book, and you just flip it open, you just select a page, and you're like, I'm starting with this one. The opening's going to be the same, the concept's going to be the same at the very start, and then it's completely up to you. So the book is the same in that way, right? There's going to be an opener, there's going to be a concept, but you literally just randomly pick a story. It's kind of like the same thing. But that's what I'm saying, like, they can still do that in books. Now, that is extremely egregious, and I don't think you're going to get that many readers that way. And it's not going to be fun in the sense because you don't feel like you're driving it. You don't feel like you're that character, right? And you don't have that kinetic feeling with, like, feeling like the character.
Yeah, no, I get.
I don't think that would be a good book that would sell that frequent. But I'm just saying, like, those possibilities of storytelling, I don't think it could ever be. I think with language in general, like, I think storytelling in it of itself, like the process, the conceptualization of storytelling, and we could say it's our imagination. I think it's part of, it has to be, right? Because when they create the story. But I don't think it could get any better than what books produce in that realm. Now, if you want to talk about the replayability, right, and like being able to like pick and choose, like for sure, games have if there was a position above number one, that's where video games are at, right?
I don't know if the talking past went to, with the early where it went off the thing. I wasn't saying Mass Effect is better than books.
No, I know that.
My point was the storytelling. I would put it up against it. Against books or movies that there is that medium can be
maybe
in the fight.
Let's
I'm not
phrase it this
saying
way, the storytelling experience. That's probably a better way.
Right,
Yeah,
and, well,
let's go
and
with
even
that.
that is, but I like I said, I believe the storytelling itself. But you can argue, and there's plenty of people who be like, no, books are better than movies. And
I was gonna say, like,
and that's fine.
I'm literally not an entertainment book reader. I just genuinely think like,
and that's fine. But there are plenty of people that believe cinema can hold its own against books.
oh, yeah, that's horrible. It's its own thing.
As far as storytelling goes, though, not that
Maybe if somebody creates a movie that isn't a book.
there's plenty of movies that are
Yeah.
just out of.
I think that's a valid argument in that
not
case.
from not from books that they're just script.
Yeah, I mean, in that case.
and that type of thing.
But I
It's
think
like I don't
even-
like Pulp Fiction wasn't a book.
But even if you copy,
Like it was made into a script and then.
But even if you copy paste like a book into a movie, the limitations of creating the movie
Yeah.
is the limitations of creating the movie in comparison to what is possible with the creativity of the storytelling in the book. Like there's two sets of limitations, but there are also two different sets of experiences.
Yeah.
So I will like willfully say like a lot of people would probably enjoy watching the movie substantially more than they would the book. It's easier. It's easier to watch a movie and enjoy it. But it's not easier to make the movie visually to enjoy it as much. I mean, to be fair though too, we could talk about how we're also touching different receptors there in the brain too for a specific thing. But the actual storytelling, the limitations of the storytelling, when someone's writing a book, I guess I'm just saying they don't have the limitations of creating and like working with all of these moving parts to limit them. The only thing they have limiting them are the words that they put down on that paper. They don't have a limiting factor like in the sense of I need this lighting or like I need, like all that other stuff.
Physical limitations.
Yeah, and so I guess if that's like, I don't know.
But
it's hard because they're different things.
they are absolutely different
They're so
things.
different.
But I'm
Even video games compared to movies, they're just so different.
Right. They're different
And they're
experiences,
even
different
inherently
things, they're
that
different
much
things.
closer, right?
And that's why, I'm not even, I have a hard time with saying, and for the most part, books, I can say, okay, books are better. Because like I said, our imagination can get into it and that. But as far as some cinema and actually storytelling and it resonating with you on a personal level, if you have somebody who's an amazing actor,
Oh yeah, right.
and they communicate that through the cinema, and you empathize it with you in your head, and that type of thing, like it can crush you more than this imaginary thing that was made up in a book.
No, I got it.
To some people are. So
knew where I was going.
right? No, but that's what I'm saying. Is that that's where the argument comes in. That's why I say that video games can hold their own as far as storytelling because they are different mediums. They're different ways. They like you literally said, different things, different receptors, different types of things.
Yeah.
Different stuff. Now I've never, ever cried reading a book. I haven't.
Yeah.
I have connected with movies to the point it's emotionally moved me enough. I've connected with. I've never. To be fair, I've never cried playing a video game. But I have listened to music that
Batman
has.
Arkham Knight, bro.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, killed the Joker. Anyways,
But
that was a spoiler. You suck again. You should have beat those games forever ago. I don't care.
music has been emotionally enough to get me to well up.
Yeah.
We can argue like, okay, they're a different thing, because like you said, they're getting different. So there's visual, there's other things, there are other things going on.
But it's very interesting though, that like in the comparison that music's done that and like movies or whatever, like not so much.
Like I don't
interesting.
even know what it is. It's been stupid things that I've just gotten to the point, and I'm sure it's my own baggage or whatever got on top of it, But I've literally gotten emotionally. But I will have an emotional reaction when I hear November Rain. I will get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like that will do that. I've never done that reading a book.
Yeah.
So now I'm not everybody in the world, and other people have cried reading books, and that type of thing. I'm just saying, that's what I'm just arguing as far as storytelling. And there's people that we're skipping a big thing that is through almost all of our history, oratory telling of stories. That type. As far as storytelling goes, we haven't even thrown that in the mix.
Yeah.
So you can choose, and people will get moved in different ways than other one other. But that's why reading books I do think I can create this fantastical world, more, and I can vividly, do all that. And it's funny when you talk to other book people, and I never thought of it that way, because we just populate this type of thing.
Imagine if you did that on shrooms.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I'm joking. Keep going. We are not going down that route. We cannot.
But movies have moved me to that point of, where I'm emotionally welling up and literally fighting for my life to not, not start crying.
Yeah.
But I've never been that way in a book.
I think,
Ever. Any book I've read.
I think it's valid. So I took a good lesson here. I like hills. Sometimes I want to die on them. No, everybody.
I'm not even saying, I'm not saying you're wrong, because I agree with you with and that. So as far as that hill that I'm trying to stab you on, I was not even blaming you, on that.
I was also just going to say, I think it's fair. I think we're thinking about stuff in a lot of the same ways, and but everybody's different.
Yeah,
and that's cool. And so I think people also need to find what they enjoy more and what's different. But
so now I wonder if I could play a video game that will give me a
cry. Yeah. Right.
No, like I literally, I haven't ran into it. Yeah. But like I told you, Mass Effect 3 killed my soul. So then I fell off of video games, and this is really the first one I've been engrossed in.
Invigorating your.
Let me take that back. I did play Borderlands a lot. And I haven't got to 4 yet.
Me too.
But I did play Borderlands a lot.
Either.
Not that I'm like, okay.
You just shattered. It's fine.
No,
talking about Hogwarts, and I was thinking about Borderlands 4 the whole time. I just didn't bring it up. It's traumatizing.
Yeah, you'll get there.
It's okay.
Just
keep going. Anyways, we got.
But I'm saying like I didn't get into Borderlands to the point that I was emotionally vested in. It was sad, like all the stuff, the things that happen in there.
I think I got emotionally invested in a different way.
Yeah,
I was like, let me get that loot.
Let me get that loot.
Yeah.
But so, but like this one has like. Borderlands, I didn't get to the point like I want to go home and play. Like I want, I want to get on, and like that type of thing. Or like when I have extra time, or I was playing with my buddies. It was, after everything's done, I'm gonna get on then. Now I'm like, I need to make some time. I need to make,
That's how you know something's good.
Like
when you
same thing with books.
When you do this thing where you're like, you just completely negate time. You're like, that's it. Like whatever I'm doing right now. When I don't have to do this, I'm doing that.
I'm doing that. Yeah. Whenever I got free time, I'm doing that. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, I get some missions in it. That type of thing. No, that's awesome. So it's the first one we've really been engrossed since like those days, the old days.
Yeah. I will say music for me has been crazy. Like I do get a lot of emotions from music, but then they'll die off. Mm-hmm. Like it quickly dies off. And I think it's by genre case for me. Mm-hmm. But not always, but a lot of the time I'll find a groove and it just shoots me to the moon. Like I'll be in the gym heinously lifting, like egregiously, and like I don't care. Yeah. It's everybody else's problem, not mine.
Yeah, you're just in that.
No, I'm not yelling or anything. Geez, I don't want anybody to think that. I'm just saying, like, I am in like such a hyper-focused state of like trying to become good, great, strive for perfect, even though it'd never happen. Like that's to the extent of like how music like makes me feel sometimes. But I don't know. The other stuff I'm still figuring out. I'm rereading The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, which talks about the USSR and all the atrocities that they committed and food famine and all that stuff. Anyways, not to get too deep into it, but that's making me feel a lot of, I feel very lucky and reluctant to be living in the time that I do and not in the time or place then, because that would have sucked. So it makes things that I'm tolerating today a lot easier.
Yeah, no, I
that's
think,
like a fleeting feeling too.
No, I mean,
it's easy.
You don't, right. And like you said, to your point, that can flee and then you get wrapped up in your worries.
I mean,
and
all feelings are.
But they are. There's nothing that's, I mean, that's one of the things I think that has served me best by getting into meditation.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say stoicism, but I mean, almost.
No, just meditation, right? But just meditation in general is that realizing, the Stoics, as far as that goes too. But just there isn't anything that's permanent. Doesn't matter how terrible, doesn't matter how good it is.
Especially that money we all fight over.
Right. That's imaginary anyways. But, this is a made up concept. That's all that is.
Yeah. Just don't think about it.
Right.
It's that easy. It's not.
But,
The atrocity of that statement. That's a crime in and of itself.
Right. But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's going to pass. It has to. There's not, but we have this, we get so sucked up in our emotions and our thoughts, and that they do feel like they're permanent. Yeah. For whatever reason, we know they're not, but you get so engrossed into that, me taking a step back, I was like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
By nature, it has to go away.
Yep. I agree.
You can deal with a lot more, and once you realize that, doesn't matter how terrible things are or bad things, doing all that it has to go away. And also, too, comparatively, I'm not living in the Gulag archipelago. That would be a terrible thing. I do think that that's important to see, your blessings that you do have, but also you can still strive. You said I'm striving for perfection when you're in the when you're in the
in the good music
in the good music, getting that flow.
Yeah.
Now I don't think perfection. I think the best I can. I really do think I've imbibed that. I don't think that I'm and it just might be because I'm older or the way I am. That I'm just I realize that perfection isn't obtainable. Yeah. And the problem is that a lot of people have a hard time with that. And that they don't realize that good is good enough. And they have to have perfection at whatever level, whatever, their fixation is.
I think to each their own. I think perfection can mean a lot of different things for people. And what your definition of perfection is entitled to only yours of your own opinion. So I think I agree with that. I think, my case is very contrary. I'm not even going to try and make it.
But there are people that think that, I should shoot for the moon. If I miss, I'll end up in the stars.
Shooting past the stars, past the galaxy. But I hear you.
Type that, but that's.
They ain't even got a name for what I'm shooting for. Past the observable universe. Infinity?
Right?
Ain't
even close.
It's not even.
No, but that's the thing that I'm like, what? I have this. To me, by definition, perfect. We aren't perfect. By that definition, so we cannot obtain that. But that doesn't mean. But my thing is that.
It's individual.
What I said, but right. But what I said was as good as you can be. That doesn't mean that isn't the extraordinary past the infinite type thing. Yeah. But if we get fixated on the absolute perfection and that any miscue is a negative to your psyche. That's where
I think that in and of itself.
That's where I'm saying. That's where I'm saying.
That's its own problem.
The hard part is.
Yeah, if people use you got to use as a term you failed at or at. I'd much rather that process of trying to get better. Now there is a line to that, but I think it's very situational and circumstance based. But I think often, probably society has the problem more often than not. They don't have confidence in themselves to even know what they could have tried for what they could have been.
No, I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, and so I think that goal and that mindset of where they set people, that perfection meter, that's something individual to everybody. But I think but I think all in all, I think we agree.
Yeah, we're kind of beating around it, but and I'm guilty of that too, of me not self-actualizing to my fullest potential. So
it's dependent though, right? But you could be though, in your
I
own
could
way.
be,
in your own way,
and that's fine. I mean, like I said, somebody else's whatever standards, whatever. I'm saying even to my own standards. Yeah. Like you said, society in general, and that has been beaten into me, too. As far as that, I could have taken off and tried to do any number of infinite and innumerable things as far as that and become a better person, on that front. So, but my fear of failing had stopped before, and so I didn't go off and do that. So I'm not trying to bring you down as far as saying, hey, don't seek perfection or whatever. I'm saying, like you said, society people are afraid of failing and doing that type of thing. It's a matter of like I said, figuring out the best possible person you can be, the best possible whatever you can be.
Yeah,
and but that's what I'm saying.
I don't think trying and going to do stuff, and everybody's case is different, right?
Yeah.
That, to me, like when you first say that, I'm like, well, that would be a clear indication as to like why somebody wouldn't like the idea of perfection. But this is what I'm saying is like that everybody's life is so indefinitely different and will indefinitely end. And I think everybody's objective over their lifespan, it definitely changes.
Yeah.
And so that's the like, to me, the determining factor of quote unquote striving. But at every moment and every stage in life, that means something.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you're right about that.
If somebody
You're true.
thinks that they have this like idea of perfection that starts whenever they think that until they die, like,
Yeah.
I mean, more power to you, but that's a very stern, confident move. I think mine's more of like this is just me, everybody's individual. Mine's more of a productivity thing, I think, and like consistency. I don't want to say working because I don't feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
Like it's just like doing stuff that I like enjoy doing
say
and like trying to
producing.
get better. Like, I don't know.
That's how, in my head, the word producing.
That's cool.
Rather than working.
Yeah.
You were producing
Just making
whatever.
Just making shit.
Doesn't have to be this. Doesn't have to be that. It would be whatever. But that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going around. You're making whatever, and it could be work, or it could be that, or it could be this, it could be that type of thing. You're just creating, whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, and to your point,
Honestly, I think we stand on a similar ground. I think you can even view other people's potential for their perfection differently.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, like that's even its own thing in of itself. Right. But now we're starting to get out in the deep end.
It is, but that's why I have a hard time with that word perfection. And I know your idea of perfection is different, that. But you're like, everybody's idea is perfection. I'm like, to me, I'm like, no, it's defined. Like, that is the perfect thing, and we can't obtain it. So that's why I said the best possible, And I think that's the crux of you and I. Like, we're close on everything. But I'm like, you're literally like, no, everybody has their own thing. And I'm like, everybody has their own individualized what could be perfect. But perfect itself has a definition. And, you can't change that. And we can't obtain that.
But let me argue to you right now this, though, right? Like, this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
What if I said right now in my life, I think it's my true definition of perfect for myself was right now. Then what would
it can't possibly be perfect,
but it could be.
To your,
my psyche could be so abstractly different that I think mine is literally
right. But I'm trying to.
My little definition is the one that I applied to.
Right. I would say you're psychotic because I would say that's what you want to know what. No, I'm just like I'm just messing with you.
I get what you're saying,
but
but I don't think most people think that way.
Right. No, and you're probably right about that.
I would say
I'm probably on the hill I'm dying on. That is,
that's the knife.
That is, that I'm just like, and it's not even even to a religious degree of whatever. It's literally just a definitional degree of like we can't achieve perfection. So I could, but to your, we could quip that absolutely. That's perfect. That. So I get what you're saying. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not even saying that you can't feel that way or get whatever.
All right, let me ask you
whatever. But that also is transitory because, like we said, all of our thoughts are transitory. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, it can't be perfect. Right. It can't. There is no perfection, Will. It's impossible.
Let me ask you this. What would be?
So I mess up your audio.
What would be the positive thing that you would say to anybody who listens, a way that would make a better version of themselves without using the word perfect? And then I would also say, I think this is something that kind of ties into what we were talking to. I feel somewhere in the lines of, I'm going to stick with what I'm saying, shoot for perfection or better than perfection, but that's just my definition, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's different for everybody. And I think it doesn't matter if it's jiu-jitsu or football or reading books or being creative or any of that stuff. I think they all have their own individual definitions of perfection. Going for that. And then I say,
Well,
so make it good.
that's
No
yeah,
pressure.
right. Yeah, no pressure. It all hinges on that.
All pressure.
As holding you on the hill, right? I think
This is seriously the close.
no, it's fine. I believe, like I said, the best psychologically way, and like I said, you're arguing with me and saying it's not because yours is perfection, but the best possible person, moment, thing, skill, whatever, is the best way to go about it, because if we cannot achieve perfection, you're inherently disappointed one way or another. If you're just like, I'm the maximum Ubermensch, not even me, best possible person ever, that's fantastic to shoot for. Doesn't mean that you're perfect. So if any of those, you're not automatically baking in inherent things that can be wrong with it, that you can pick apart. That's what I'm saying. Best possible maximum effort, person, skill, whatever you want. That's what you should shoot for.
I respect yours. I'm just laughing because I could feel your tenacity.
No, literally, you can use Ubermensch. I don't care. As far as that, start reading Nietzsche. But
I'm leaving it.
But it was, in theory, that was a higher individual, not perfection.
Cool.
Because that's unattainable. So
these guys are gonna be the ones to make their own decisions. So
right,
you guys do that.
Do your thing. Honestly, if that works for you too, have at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next time.